And we'll get started. All right. So welcome everybody to our main event of the evening, the final match. We have an Undead versus Orc matchup. Colorado16 versus new GNL Blood. Robertito going to the tail of the tape. Our two opponents are locked in. They are ready. You can see their stats at the bottom. We are in the 1500 MMR brackets this time around. Colorado16 representing superstars in training. Robert in the bullpen looking to get on a GNL team. The GNL coaches are watching. The GNL players are watching. The chat is here. Everyone is ready. And we're about to start our best of 3 series on Northern Isles. So down in the bottom left, we do have Robertito, a new member of the gym community, signing up for GNL Season 8. Currently on the bullpen, looking to get on his first GNL team. And in the top right, GNL veteran, Colorado16. He's been here a while. You all know him. Our undead competitor of the evening. And we'll see how Robertito responds. Haven't seen Rob compete yet in a GNL format, so this will be his first shot. And he has a formidable opponent in Colorado16, a little bit of an MMR gap, about 100, so, but that can happen. I've lost to 100 MMR difference before. It's easy. I could do that any day. So here we are. We'll do a little channel prediction in the chat. Robert getting a Peon Scout as well. Love to see that. So let's get a little prediction. I've been slacking on the predictions tonight. All right, everyone's got 2 minutes. Get those predictions in. Death Knight coming on out with the Fiends. Robert sending the Farseer and the Wolves on over. Gonna start creeping some of the green camps of Colorado. Make it harder for him to get to level 2. Harder to get to level 3. Headhunters on the way as well. Sending the injured Peon back home. Colorado getting death coils out. Cleaning up this creep camp as quickly as possible.
Players' forces are under
That much
attack.
closer to level 2. Meanwhile, Robertito cleaning up the green camp is going to make it quite difficult for this Death Knight to get crept up to the level 2 he's looking for without a couple more units. And now our first encounter of the game. Robert going to back off, get to a safer position. First Feral Spirit falls. Colorado moving forward, trying to put some pressure onto this back line. Microing back some of those injured Skeleton Warriors. Does not want to feed any more XP. Knows that Robert must be close to level 2 on the Farseer. Just misses that kill on the Headhunter. 5 health remaining. Going to be microed back home. Heal south back up. Resummons the Wolves. Doesn't want to feed any XP into Colorado16, who's well on his way to level 2 as well. And both players at level 1.7. More pressure from Colorado. Colorado down to about 30% health. Will need to retreat back. Gets Death Coil out onto the Fiends and gives Rob the breathing room he was looking for to creep out the remainder of the Murloc camp. Sends the Wolf to keep the Fiends and the DK busy. Looks like it just bought him enough time to get the level 2 and the item from these two camps. Got the Mantle and the Wand of Illusion. So a nice start for Rob. As Colorado is now in this predicament of what to creep next now that both green camps are gone. So thinking about the Tuskar camp, this will certainly get level 2.
is under siege. A player's forces are under attack.
Here we go, Colorado falling quite low. Creep's doing a lot of damage. This Bloodlusted Ogre Magi, Bloodlusted Tuskar do a lot of damage. Scroll the Beast going to be picked up by Colorado. Nice item. No salves in the inventory yet for Rob. Stronghold is online. No second hero in production just yet. Torn Chieftain is selected. Voodoo Lounge coming up perhaps a smidge late. Would love to have a salve in the inventory at this point. In Tier 2 buildings, we will see what gets selected. Tier 2 just about finishing. For Colorado, I imagine we'll see a Lich coming out any second now. Chain Lightning onto the creeps, trying to be as quick as possible. Let's see what the Ice Troll Warlord grants. A Mana Stone. That's a nice item for anybody on any map. Colorado going to get the level 3. The level 2 Death Coil really going to help out with the sustain, with the offense, with the nuke. Lich on the way. Torn Chieftain also here, and some wounded Headhunters really looking for a salve, but as inefficient as they are to heal, they will need some love. Bestiary coming online. We know how good Raiders are against statues, ensnaring them down, locking them down. Colorado knows this. Will be planning for it. Slaughterhouse on the way. Needs the statues.
A player's forces are under attack.
Colorado going to be able to take down the remainder of the shop. To quell the loss will help the Lich attack a little bit faster. Also gives the claws 9 and 5, so the Lich looking scarier and scarier as time goes on. Players have met one another in the middle of the map for the first time on Tier 2. Both will back off for the time being, neither ready to engage at the moment, but looks like Colorado pulling the better creep camp right now, continuing to creep efficiently, has the orange creep camp right now. The reds are available. Not many oranges available on Northern Isles. Level 2 goes to the Lich. Rob gonna go for the Scorpion camp. Will have the breathing room he needs, but this also enables Colorado to go for the big camp, the Magnetar Reaver. Baits the boulder. Has plenty of breathing room to go for it. Rob has the Expo up just as he needs to. Kodo Beasts are also here. They're hungry, looking for Crypt Fiends. Torn Chieftain is here. He sees all this going down, but the claws plus 12 and the Lich, holy, at plus 35 damage right now. Doesn't even have an orb yet. But he will now. And with that, it's going to be plus 40 damage. 130% damage boost because of these items. Can you believe this Lich's inventory right now? Plus 9, plus 9, plus 5, plus 12. And as good of a game as Rob has been playing pretty well so far, that is not the items you want the Lich to have. Chain Lightning being used. Quickly healed back up. Death Knight getting Death Coils out onto the Fiends. One Fiend is going to fall. Lich getting a lot of damage on these Kodo Beasts. Just so much auto attack damage from this Lich. 2 Fiends fall at the cost of 1 Raider. Headhunters getting a lot of damage on these Crypt Fiends. Death Coil there just in time as the Headhunters move forward to try to put more pressure onto the statue. Statues now falling one by one. Lich getting a lot of damage on these Headhunters. Look at these Headhunters. The damage from the Lich is just so much. It's crazy. The Lich is just firing out Frost Novas, essentially as auto attacks. Pops the Invo Pot just in time, able to cancel that auto attack. But there's just so much damage coming from the Lich. I don't know how you even defend against this. 47 damage now with the scroll. Now plus 40. You just look at the Headhunter's health bar. Look at this. Nice deny. But it's going to be tough when a Lich has items like this. It is so hard to win. The Torn Chief, they're going to be victim of the cannon that is the Lich, throwing bombs at any unit he sees fit. And now Skeleton's going to be raised, going to be able to deal with the Headhunters. Rob trying to claim a couple more Crypt Fiends, but the Lich just so strong. Well-timed TP, going to be able to deny that auto attack, but the Lich getting in position. Farsi are going to fall, and that's going to be game 1. The Lich just too... I don't even know how you beat this Lich at this point. Like I said, I really think Rob played a pretty good early game, had some good Fiend kills, but the Lich at this point is chunking any unit he targets. This might be one of the scariest Liches I've ever seen. And he's only level 3. Farseer is back, was purchased at the shop, trying to get some statue kills. Torn Chieftain also back online. Rob looking to make his last stand. 1 Headhunter falls, trying to get this statue taken care of. Has Ensnare out on it. But the Lich just so strong, continues a nice deny there, courtesy of Dark Ritual. Bringing back the injured units, bringing back the statue, bringing back the Fiends. Torn Chieftain falls yet again. The Lich just chunking everything. The Farseer losing 80 health per auto attack almost. The Lich is soloing everything. Bringing in the peons. No Soul Link here to help, unfortunately, which is where the peons are really strong. Bringing in the extra health of all these peons for Soul Link. And there's the nuke and the nail in the coffin. GG, well played. Game 1. Goes to Colorado. I have to say, overall, well played by both players. The Lich completely stacked out of his mind with those items. So really hard for any player of any caliber to come back from that. But well played by Rob, well played by Colorado. Both players not making any major mistakes. Item luck definitely helped Colorado, but Colorado also played very well. So not discounting any of his skill or attention to detail there. The items certainly help anybody in that situation. Well played. And we'll see how the next map changes things. And what changes we'll see. Had a good early game from Rob, able to take down some of those green camps. But Colorado really scaled into the mid to late game. Flashbacks to my game, says Burrow Rush. All right, so with Colorado up 1-0. Rob looking to make a statement in his debut, although he does have his back against the wall. He is in a tougher matchup. 100 MMR difference. But that's how you learn. You gotta play the good players. So, best of 3 series, the final series of the night. We're going to go to Game 2. And Game 2 is going to be played on Tide Hunters. So, I would say overall, well-played game from both players. Last game, we've said it before, we'll say it again. No major mistakes. Rob got the Expo up at Tier 2. Wasn't quite able to transition into the fully realized Tier 2 army he was looking for with the Spirit Walkers, with the Raiders. Was stifled by the Lich of the Century. And well played all around by Colorado. Colorado did get into Tier 2 very smoothly. Had the right number of fiends, had the right number of statues, and just played it standard, played it safe. Stuck to the book, and the items helped him get through. A smooth game 1. Gonna see the Farseer Headhunters again for Mr. Robertito, as I would expect coming from Orc. Very strong opener and did well in the early game. Last game on Northern Isles. Which had an AWP with auto aim. Yeah, that was a beefy Lich, man. That was a strong Lich. He was chunking units. That's tough, but that's how the game goes. Going for the first Murloc camp. See what item we get, and then we'll go and check on Mr. Colorado. Mantle. Nice starting item for the Farseer. Death Knight coming on out. Fiend about ready to pull this creep camp. Bought the rod. He's going to head on in. Raising the first skeleton minions from the critter.
Players' forces are under attack.
Going to take down the Sea Giant camp now. Watching out for the Pulverize. RNG of the AoE definitely adds up. Gloves of Haste, also a nice item for the Farseer. Ooh, more claws. Colorado's got the Happy hack on. Whatever hack Happy uses, Colorado's using right now. All jokes aside. Nice items for both players.
A player's forces are under attack.
Colorado cleaning up the Natural Expo, gets the Ring of Todd, +3. Rob doing much of the same, gonna get a claw, so now some of the luck swinging into Rob's direction. As this Farseer starting to stack up quite nice. Doesn't have the same auto attack capability as the Lich, but is nice nonetheless. Farseer gonna head on back, grab, not sure why he ran back, maybe grabbing something. Going for a very early Expo. Very early.
Are under attack.
Pretty surprising to see that. Usually, Orc, you'll see Rhaenys Tier 2s finishing. Might even bring the Tauren Chieftain over to creep up the mine and then Expo at Tier 2, but going to get a really early Expo up, sending the Skeleton Warrior over to check it out. So this will be revealed by Colorado, and this is going to be a big deal. Sees the early Expo, is now going to have the information needed to go and cancel it. And that's going to set Rob quite a bit behind, as it does take a big investment.
A player's forces are under
But
attack.
first, Colorado going to go for the Elemental camp. At the cost of the Death Knight taking a lot of damage from these Elementals. Gets the level 3 and the Potion of Greater Mana. That's a big-time item for the Death Knight. Rob going for the shop. Has the replenishment potion, can pop that right after this camp. And the Farseer looking quite stacked himself. Has all the early game items you're looking for, but now needs to go back and defend this. This is going to be canceled. Nothing you could do about this. It was scouted. And I don't think it was canceled, unfortunately. Going to lose those resources. Unless the War 3 champions
A player's forces
didn't
are under
quite
attack.
show me the cancel text. That's what the good players do. They scout and they get opportunities like that. When you scout, you get those big opportunities, those game-changing moments that only happen as the result of good scouting. Getting a lot of damage on the Death Knight, 200 health, and split the army. And with that, Rob going to clean up the rest of the elemental camp. Rob has a bit of breathing room, but I think lost quite a bit of resources not canceling that Great Hall. That's going to send him back a little bit. Sells the scroll, sells the replenishment potion, doesn't need it.
Are under attack.
Trying to recoup some of those resources lost in the expo. Death Knight continuing to creep up. Lich on the way. Slaughterhouse also right on time. Moving on in directly to tier 3 as is Robert. Has a burrow coming down. Bestiaries also coming out. Those raiders with Ensnare going to help lock down those statues.
A player's forces are under attack.
Death Knight continuing to play with fire for a lot of this early game. Has the scroll, so can get out if needed, but close to home. Obviously can buy health pots if needed, if he were to get pressed, but Robert going for the red camp. Did get the Mana Stone, so that's a very nice item for the Torch Sheath. Torch Sheath taking quite a bit of damage.
A player's forces are under attack.
So it might be a little tricky in the next encounter. 44 supply to 34 of Robert. Meanwhile, Colorado trying to finish up the remainder of this turtle camp, bringing the Death Knight out. Wants the Lich to creep it all up. But just like that, the Lich taking so much damage from the creeps and almost dies. Nice timed Death Coil by Colorado. Keeping a very close eye on the Lich. But just like that, the level 7 Gargantuan Turtle just got straight aggroed to the Lich. And now 2 greater mana potions. Torch Chieftain incredibly low. 1 nuke away. If this Torch Chieftain gets caught, it's dead. But Colorado either didn't see it or has mercy. I'm assuming the former.
Player's forces are under attack.
So Robert now getting some good scouting done, trying to make sure there's no expos coming up. Wolves moving all over, seeing what's left, sees the reds available, sees this isn't expoed and this is not expoed. Meanwhile, scouting being done by Colorado. Has the statues. So right now, the army of Colorado, very strong right now, has the 6 fiends, the 2 statues, the Lich starting to get bolstered up, has the claws and the orb, and more importantly than that, both heroes have a potion of greater mana. So that's going to be a very, very long battle that Robert has to sustain through. Going to use the coil and the Nova on the illusion, so nice play there to get some of the mana burned. Has the Berserker upgrade now. The battle has begun. Nice Focus Fire and Chain Lightning onto the Fiend. Does get 1 Fiend kill and 1 more Fiend devoured. Auto attacks onto the Fiend, and another late Death Coil results in 2 Fiend deaths and 1 eaten Fiend, but now the Fiend's going to be restored. Long distance. Death Coil going to heal that up. Torn Chieftain with some nice War Stomps, but the Lich and the DK are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They have plenty of mana to sustain. Death Knight is hexed and not able to save any of the feeds. Another feed falls. And a lot of focus fire from Rob, able to capture a lot of these feed kills. Another fiend down. Torrent Chieftain now in dangerous territory, has to pop it, gets nuked so quickly. The Coil Nova, and again, Potion of Greater Mana on the Lich, and so many skeletons really going to need some sort of disenchant to deal with this. So a lot of skeletons on the map still for Colorado. A nice choice of the Dark Ranger. And no TP. That'll be the end of the Farseer. And a decent battle by Robert, but unfortunately the lack of Dispel and the 2 mana potions on the Death Knight and the Lich really is what carried this forward. GG, well played, and your winner of the Best of 3 series, Colorado16. All right, and with that, we're going to go to our winner interview. Colorado 2-0 against Robert. Well played, both players. So let's get on into the interview lobby. All right. Where are you at? There you are. Hello? Can you hear me okay? I see you in the call, but can't quite hear you so well. Can you hear us, Colorado? I'll type to you. I see your mouth moving, but don't hear you. 1 sec. Okay. It's going to work out some technical difficulties here. Get right into the interview. We lost him. We lost him. Did we lose him? All right, well, while we work out some of those technical difficulties, we're awaiting our winner interview with Colorado. Soon we'll get that going. But in the meantime, that will be one of our last matches of the night. Just awaiting. Discord setting probably coming from the wrong mic. Potentially. Yes, potentially. So we'll try to get that straightened away, so we can wrap up Fight Night the right way with the winner interview. All right. Can't even hear me now. Oh, no. Let me try to rejoin the call. Can you hear me now, Mr. Colorado? Try restarting Discord. I think mine should be working okay. It had a couple phone calls with people today. Seemed to be working well. Hello, can you hear me? We just heard you. Almost. We're almost there. I feel like we're so close. Also trying to get your webcam back. Oh, the way that's on. I see your webcam. I don't know why. Oh, now it's gone. Okay, shit. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes. Hopefully we can get Mr. Colorado on the call. But that pretty much wraps up our Fight Night event of the evening. Thank you all so much for coming. Again, if you have any questions or feedback, please leave it to me on Twitter, on Discord, on Twitch, anywhere you can find me. My DMs are open. Would love the feedback. Would also love if you all want to sign up. You know where to find us. It is !Jim in the chat. Is it Jim? Yes, !Jim in the chat. Join the Discord. This is where you're going to find a lot of like-minded players. As you just saw, Robertito making his debut tonight. So he played a formidable opponent. Definitely 100 MMR better. But that's how you get better, right? You play good opponents. You talk with them about what they think you could have done better, and you bring that into your next matches. You talk to the coaches. You play people better than you. And that's really how you start learning how to get better. Hey, Colorado, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Perfect.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. That was a mess.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So I see your webcam's back. I'm going to try to get you back in here. Oh, there you are. Perfect. My cat is going to join us for this interview. So,
no worries.
So how's it feel? You went 2-0 against your opponent, Robertito, Orc player. How did you prepare going into a matchup against Orc? What are your general thoughts on how the match went?
Yeah, it was a good match. I do actually like playing against FSHH. I find that the timing that Undead can hit with, you get Lich gets Orb and Dark Ranger, the Skellies just kind of snowball when you get a few HH kills, and it's nice. The first game, I think I got kind of lucky with item luck. I don't know if you saw my Lich, but it was
we all
40.
saw your Lich.
Yeah. Because I didn't have a great start. I let my DK get pretty weak, and then I lost a Fiend to Creep, so I think the Lich kind of saved me a bit there. Then in the second game, I was able to get the Expo cancel, and then felt like I crept fairly well, and then by the time I hit tier 3, got Orb, and went, I felt like I had a good timing there as well.
Have you ever had such good item luck on the Lich before? You were at plus 47 attack damage at one point with the Scroll the Beast on the Lich as well. It was like you were firing off Frost Novas as an auto attack. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that's probably the best I've ever had. Like, that was some pretty amazing RNG. I think it'd be challenging to even get higher. I think plus was 12 and maybe even 2 plus 9, so it was pretty stacked. So probably won't get that again anytime soon.
Absolutely. And you're on Superstars in training. Anything you're doing to prepare for Orc, Human, Night Elf? How are you practicing? What are you doing to get better week over week?
Right now, the main thing I'm focused on is Night Elf. I've been pretty weak against Night Elf, so really, both, regardless if it's Keeper or Demon Hunter starting. So that's the main matchup I've been working on and finding some success there, and been playing a fair number of games against Iniga Nebulous, which has been really good, and just chipping away on ladder to try to get better there.
Any advice for any undeads? I hear a lot of players saying they're struggling against Farseer Headhunter. It's a very strong opening build. It does scale pretty well into the late game. Any advice against that general strategy? We saw you beat it tonight, but what are like the bullet points you need to hit as an undead player to do well against that matchup?
So for a while I was playing fast DK, quick tech, but then I found if the FS came over to your base, you don't really have any fiends, and you can't um, harder to defend, or they'll start attacking your shop or kind of harass you the whole, and you can't leave your base. So I found playing Philbot Fiends, at least at my level, seems to be working well, because you can somewhat fight back, even though like Skellies aren't going to be able to fight against like wolves, and they will have a little bit of a stronger army early. It helps you contest camps and creep on your own, and once, if they do give you time, you can creep quite quickly with that. But yeah, I think the main thing is getting that timing at tier 3. Like Orb, I personally always play with Dark Ranger because the Skellies can be so strong, and I think not letting the TC and SH get high levels, because that's really gonna stop you. Like, it's really gonna be hard to beat if those get out of hand, because Orc heroes can be so strong. So yeah, I think that tier 3 timing is the best bet to win in that matchup, I find.
Got it. And I think you hit your timings pretty well in both games. Any final thoughts for any of the coaches, any of the viewers in chat? And who are you facing week 1? Do you have a matchup for this week, and how are you preparing for that?
No matchup this week for GNL. But doing the show match with for GNL with Grinchy on Back to Warcraft Saturday as part of the W3C tournament. So that's, I guess, Saturday would be what I'm preparing for. But yeah, this is pretty cool that you're doing this Tuesday night. So thanks for doing that, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And you said this Saturday, what time, so everybody can be there?
I think it's 7 p.m. CEST, which I think is 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the very last, like after Saturday's W3C tournament games finish. Ours is right after, so it may be a little bit earlier or later depending on the way the schedule goes.
Oh, yeah. Is there? Oh, no. Daily savings time was last week. So 7 p.m. Europe time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to see more of Colorado16, go up against the People's Champion, Grinchy, as well as some amazing War 3 Champions season finals tournament. Make sure you tune in. Colorado, great best of 3 series against the newcomer Robertito. Any words of advice for Mr. Robert before we head on out?
I think just keep practicing and work with the coaches. And I only joined GNL I was joined in season 7, and I'm already like over 100 MMI higher than when I started. So if you put the time in and work with the coaches, like, you'll 100% improve. And that goes for really anyone who wants to join GNL and play. It's a pretty great area to improve and get better.
Awesome. Well, congrats again. Hope to see you in week 2, and good luck Saturday against the People's Champ.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night, man.
Have a great night. All right, everybody. That was Mr. Colorado16. Great games played by him.